Hey guys, and welcome to our review for The Dark Tower, directed by Nikolai Arcel, starring Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey, and Tom Taylor, among others. Mm-hmm. My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Tim McGavick.
And World. All hail the Crimson King.
Nobody understands that reference. And Adam Franey.
Yeah. The Dark Tower series.
It's a movie?
It's fun.
This is from the movie, I guess.
I think it's based on a book series, but it's like a young adult.
Stephen
it's a YA series.
It's like a YA series.
Yeah.
That's like Divergent, right?
It's exactly like Divergent.
It's very Divergent.
Shine.
You gotta
Stephen
shine.
King. Great young adult writer, author.
He was inspired by Hunger Games when he wrote Dark Tower.
40 years ago, yeah.
Tim, we know this is your dream. Can you please give us a synopsis?
Roland, a gunslinger and the last of his kind from Midworld, has his sights on revenge against the Man in Black. He crosses paths with Jake, a child with powers that the Man in Black is hunting. Together, Roland and Jake make their way to the Man in Black to stop his apocalyptic plan before it's too late.
Wow. The Dark Tower. The movie's getting shredded by critics.
Critically shredded.
Perhaps unfairly.
Unfair?
Adam.
Don't make me do this.
Start us off, bud. What are your thoughts? We're going to have to end with Tim.
We have to end with Tim.
I figured that.
For the fans, Tim has literally waited his entire life. This is your everything?
Might be.
You've lived your whole life for this moment. Adam, what are your thoughts, though? Does this film deserve 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, or is it better than that? What do you think?
I thought the trailer was great. I was very excited. My friend Tim here told me the history of the Dark Tower once.
Mm-hmm.
Remember it perfectly. I was very excited. I love Idris Elba. Then I saw they did not schedule... or they embargoed the reviews for this movie until the day of release, which is The Kiss of Death. And I thought, you know what, Sony, you're stupid. You don't know. This movie's going to be amazing. It's just too complex for your puny minds. And then I saw the runtime of 90 minutes.
That Dunkirk runtime?
I said, that's a lot to cover in 90 minutes. And then I saw this movie. You know what I thought, Tim?
What did you think?
I thought it was extremely middle of the road, average. Nothing great, nothing shit. Just feel like I haven't seen it, really.
There's an hour 45-minute trailer?
Yes.
For the Dark Tower series?
It felt watered down, I guess. I liked the kid a lot. I liked Idris as well.
McConaughey?
I thought McConaughey was fucking terrible in this movie. Yeah. And I should say, shout out to my cousins Jake and Justin. The people I saw it with loved it. Like, this movie's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, and I said, did you guys know it has 17% right now on Rotten Tomatoes? And they're like, what? Critics don't understand. Like, it's a fantasy action movie. Like, they just, no one understands. It's just so fun. And I was like, really? Because I was bored. And they thought McConaughey was great. McConaughey, I'm not saying like in the books or anything, but in this movie, not a character. He's a two-dimensional, he's just an evil man.
For the sake of being evil.
He walks with like a strut and just like slate. Like he was so
Stop
cringe.
breathing.
Like, what is that? That's not an interesting.
He's like a sorcerer.
Power. Like, I get, yeah, right. It's magic, I guess.
Yeah, magic with a K.
How is that interesting? Just to be like dead and someone dies, or like you're on fire or whatever, kill each other. Like, it's just like, so I'm like, what? And he just literally has no personality, no fleshing out, nothing. Idris Elba, you don't really get any fleshed out character from him either. Just a scene with his dad.
There's one sort of like catalyst for him as a character.
Yeah.
Which is that scene.
Right. Which is fine. Like, it was fine. It's just, the whole movie I just thought was fine. Well, fine is generous. I just thought it was very middle of the road, watered down, middle of the road. Like felt too small for like what I know the book series to be. Right? It didn't have the epic feel for me.
Yeah.
And obviously, like none of the like Stephen King, Sony not having the rights to use the Stephen King stuff, I felt was lame. Like obviously, it would be way cooler if they could use Stephen King's other stuff.
Got a little bit of it.
I mean,
A few hints
what do you
here and
mean?
there.
Well,
We saw the Overwatch Hotel,
we did.
right?
Yeah.
In a picture frame.
Okay.
We saw like Pennywise stuff.
Yeah. We saw Room 1408.
We saw a reference to 1408.
What Pennywise?
They're talking about Shine.
At the
The
theme
whole
park,
time.
there was a Pennywise.
It's the
Sign.
letter said Pennywise.
You sure?
Yeah.
What and what's Shine? What?
Shine
Like
is
The Shining is like
The power
The
that-
Shining, the movie.
the kid has
So like
the shine.
Yeah.
so does the kid in this
Huh.
movie, right? Jake.
Okay. Well, apparently it was too subtle.
So there's some things
Okay, that's cool.
which I liked when I saw those. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bit overt for me. Like there's like an earthquake and it just cuts to a picture frame of the Overwatch Hotel, I'm like, or Overlook Hotel, sorry. And I was like, oh, that was abrupt. Like for someone who like, I was like, that's how.
Someone like me.
It's like, why would he have a photo of the Overlook Hotel? And it's
It's
just
a big Kubrick fan.
yeah, he just loves Kubrick. Is it in universe? Like they watch?
Yeah. So I don't know. I just and it had a quality like just the look. It looked kind of made for TV, and the runtime made it feel unimportant almost. Yeah, and there's like one action set piece that I remember, like the end shootout. That's like literally it.
Yeah.
So that's my review.
Well, there's
movie.
a scene where they get attacked in the village, I guess. That sort of sequence. I wouldn't say it's an action set piece. And then also when the sort of like monster comes after the like beam quake, the monster like comes out of the. Sorry.
The beam
Went full.
I can go full nerd. It comes
Tim's
out
waiting.
of
Tell,
a thinny,
right. Okay.
which is what a tear is called.
Right. A thinny.
Oh,
Monster comes out of
excuse me?
that, and then he has to fight it. That's
Yeah.
the one thing. The other action thing.
Don't
The
even
monsters from the mist also come out of that same area.
in the movie.
No, like the
Not the
Mist.
movie.
The mist.
The movie The
Movie
Mist.
The Mist. The
Oh, I
monsters
see.
in that,
Sorry.
They come out of a
They
thinny.
come out of the same place as those monsters, which is called something else. I don't want to know.
You don't know, or
Do it.
you're withholding
Hit us.
It's
information?
called Tadash, Todash, which is like the area around the world that's
That they're trying to
outside the
break
circle.
down.
Yeah.
Outside the circle.
Yeah.
Kanye wants to let the
yes.
Ha ha!
So monsters from the mist are from that world as well.
Got it.
Nerd. I'm gonna jump in. I agree a lot with Adam. I think this movie is fine. Is very okay, and it feels like a travesty to me. Like I feel like in reading about the Dark Tower and that they only had a $60 million budget on this, like they're like holding them back. Like they didn't want to go full. Like you have to go full Dark Tower.
Yeah, they didn't
But-
commit.
They just went like Dark Tower Light or something, and they sort of picked the most
Light Tower.
layman friendly aspects that the average person could understand, and they went for the basic
Excuse me.
good versus evil kind of theme, and we don't get very much backstory on these characters, which I feel like is a detriment. I liked the perform. I think the performance. I think they did a good job for what they were given, and it's something they were given much to work with. Like Idris, I feel like was almost wasted. Like he barely had anything to do besides just be kind of stoic. I did like the one thing I really liked actually was the sort of Thor kind of fish out of water.
I like when he pays
Yeah.
the doctor.
Hilarious with the coin, and
Thank you for your time.
like I like
Yeah,
I
that
like
was
that. Those scenes, like I genuinely kind of chuckled there, and so did my theater. But I just feel like the other elements they needed to go a little bit farther. Like the villains, never like aside from McConaughey, just like so basic. Like
Like who are they? What?
just
The
Like-
literally faceless.
faceless like
They're
evil
actually
men.
they're like
You would know.
rat faced, or like they have like bird beaks and stuff that they cover over with like human skin when they're in.
Which is cool. But
That's
I wish that was
interesting.
like
I didn't know that.
developed like more or something. Like I wish they went more into that.
Yeah, there's one
and
guy
sort of-
that didn't have skin on. He
Yeah,
had, like, that mask
and
over his face.
doesn't McConaughey say get out of here?
He tells
with
him
that
to
face
put a skin on
or
it.
something.
Yeah.
I feel like if you go into this knowing nothing about Dark Tower, you're gonna come out knowing nothing about Dark Tower.
Yeah, like I feel like I still like have all this knowledge of the backstory of like what that means and
Yeah.
everything and what's this referencing, but coming from point of view of someone who's never read anything about Dark Tower or read any Dark Tower series books, I don't get that level of understanding where I can read between the lines. Because for me, it's very straightforward what I see, and it just seems like a missed opportunity. Like, I just have a feeling like, for example, the Dune remake that's coming up. It's a similar kind of situation where it's very complex.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling like Denis Villeneuve will be able to get a budget that's going to support that level of sort of complexity that's required to properly service the material. Whereas this, the director, I'm blanking on what he's done before. But
He hasn't. I'm pretty sure this is his debut. I can look it up, but I'm 99% sure.
so with that in mind, I don't know if he was saying there wasn't studio interference and that he still had Final Cut and stuff, but
Really?
I kind of wonder, like, if they're like, okay, you have Final Cut, but you
Your
have no
final
money to work
cuts-
with.
Yeah, your final cut has to be an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Or
Yeah.
like I felt like this movie was too short. It needed more of that other things, right? Adding those little extras, a little bit of backstory, a little bit more in depth with those, those bad characters like Jackie Earl Haley, right? Abby Lee, right? Those characters.
Out there,
The guy from Cabin in the Woods, Fran Kranz, the like stoner character from Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've seen before.
Like with those characters, like a little bit more. Just give me a little bit more. And McConaughey, again, motivations. Like, what are your motivations exactly? What's driving you to want to destroy the world and roll over its ashes, kind of thing? What do you want out of this? Because you don't really get that in this movie, and I'm sure there's more about his character in the books and why he wants to do that. But for me, it's very shallow. So, and as far as the action sequences, I think they were great. Like, I liked Idris Elba as an action, guy doing stunts and jumping around and the sort of gun kata kind of like equilibrium stuff. I like that, but my only problem with that is that we already saw all that stuff in the trailers. I want to see more. I was expecting like a bigger set piece with that and show him just go full like John Wick or Atomic Blonde and just go ham and show what is so special about him being a gunslinger. Just that he can shoot guns, or does he have this other, is there more to that? So for me, I just feel like overall it's a missed opportunity. Tim.
Oh, I found out he has directed movies. He did 3, is he Swedish? Danish?
Something like a Danish
European.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 European films that were just smaller, and he did A Royal Affair.
Right.
Oh,
So-
yes.
So,
Danish.
there's that.
Tim,
Yes.
Here we go, Tim.
what are your
Here we
thoughts?
go.
Are you a loving fanboy or are you a angry fanboy?
Yeah. Are you a stan? Will you stick your head in the sand like an ostrich and ignore the flaws and still love this?
Ooh.
Or are you furious?
Ooh, I'm
that they
furious.
watered down?
I knew it was a sequel, so I knew it was going to be the sequel to the book series, so I knew they would not be faithful to the story.
Yeah.
Fitting.
But I'm just baffled at like why would you choose to do that when you have like
This
so much
multitude,
material
this
to choose from?
smorgasbord of
Yeah,
options.
like you can even squish the first 2 books together.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Isn't it too much to...
no, 'cause the first one
Cut
is
out a
like
lot
the
of-
first one's a lot of like backstory and him telling stories to people. You could cut
I
A
could
chunk of that out.
Some of that.
and then
Stick the
Flesh out.
essentials and flesh
Yeah.
out.
yeah, a lot of this
Good
just
read.
like doesn't happen in the book series remotely at all. Jake does not have the shine
In the book series.
in the book series. Matthew McConaughey does
making
not
me
just
hate
go
it.
up to people and be like,
Stop breathing.
Sleep?
stop breathing.
That's
Sleep.
made up for the movie?
Made up for the movie. Does not do that.
You're making my rating.
Yep.
So someone thought, hey, it'd be really cool if Matthew McConaughey could just go die.
Yeah. The whole thing about them needing children to break the beam.
Uh-huh.
Nope. They just use anyone who has like psychic abilities. So it's not even like specific to children.
So they're like using the shine kind of thing.
Yeah.
To like destroy the
They
tower.
YA'd it.
They
You
might
can
need
get a
hard.
kid element in there.
What else? The Dixie Club, where the shootout happens, that shows up in book 6. Jackie Earle Haley's in like one chapter. So they just made
I
a
mean,
lot
he was
of
in like one chapter of this movie too.
yeah. They just made a lot of weird choices.
Baffling, one would say.
It's way more actiony than the books are as well.
I wouldn't even say it's that action.
Yeah, it's
No,
more-
like
it's
that
more
huge shootout at the end.
Uh-huh.
There's maybe like one or two that are close to that in scale, but I guess it's because I'm reading it. It's not like as like dynamic
It's hard
as
to
it is on
visualize.
screen.
Yeah, it's a different medium.
The fight with Matthew McConaughey is horrendous.
Wasn't great.
It's horrendous. He's like
I don't
bouncing
know if
bullets
I'd say
off
horrendous.
like things.
Did he have that ability in
No.
the book of like
No?
of like
What do you
ricocheting
mean,
bullets
no?
and aiming ricocheted bullets?
No, he's
How do
like,
you do that?
He's like an extremely good shot, but like he can't break the laws of physics.
I mean, ricochet is a real thing, but you can't.
Can't ricochet
A
bullets?
human can't
No,
accurately
No.
predict the ricochet of a bullet.
he's just a very good shot. Is what it is.
Amazing. I mean, he shot a
And-
he shot a bullet.
Out of
Can
yeah,
can we talk about that?
yeah,
You can't shoot a bullet.
yeah.
Well,
It's
you
insane.
can if
No.
you're Idris Elba.
The bullet's fired at a
In this
speed.
movie.
The next bullet's fired at the same speed. It can't catch up to it.
Yeah.
I thought like that was like his
You know what I mean?
power.
No, he has no power. He just
He has no power.
Gunslingers are
He
to that
was-
world what knights were to like medieval times. There's
Okay,
like a whole
right.
bunch of them. They spent their whole life training.
Mhm, like a
His,
samurai.
his guns are made from like
Excalibur.
Excalibur.
What a throwaway line.
Arthur of Eld is like King Arthur, and he in this world, King Arthur was like a gunslinger. He was still King Arthur, but like it's a
How-
weird like
how
Western
can
world.
there
So
be-
it's just
Let me just. How can there be a King Arthur in
There's-
Midworld and also in Keystone
there's
Earth?
various forms of
The
lots
same.
going on.
Okay.
alternate universe.
Yeah, you're not sure if like Earth maybe some of their story was influenced from this other world, and they took on parts of it. Essentially, it's way different than the books.
Right.
They got like some ideas here and there sprinkled in. That was good. Like that house that attacks Jake. That happens. He does get attacked by like a house, but the house is like planted there to make sure no one uses.
The gate.
The
kinda,
gate.
Whatever it's called.
I assume that would have been like Pennywise's house
No.
in the book. That's
No,
not a thing.
no.
Okay. Okay.
Idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was
stupid.
digging like the
Sorry.
actual like mid-world stuff, the stuff that takes place like in Idris's
I
world.
think I did too.
I liked it. I was like, okay, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this being a sequel. It makes sense. But the longer it went on, and it went into New York City a bunch of times, which is fine too. But I'm like, there's just so much source material that they just could have used. It's just disappointing. Like, the movie's fine. Like as a movie, it's fine. I hate the last fight scene. I think even as like outside of the Dark Tower world, I think it's just a really bad climactic fight. Super cheesy. He's just got like a wall of glass. He's like
Oh,
terrible.
I hate the fucking
Yeah.
glass
The,
catch.
Gross.
Freeze.
All
right.
But yeah, it's just disappointing that this is what they decided to do with
Magic.
with this series.
Yeah.
Spoilers: Matthew McConaughey.
Whoa.
We're gonna spoil the movie.
No.
Okay.
Let's give our ratings,
Okay.
and we can go into some further discussion. I haven't even thought about my rating for this. I'm gonna go. You know what? It's so average. It's gotta be a 2, or a heavy 2, I guess. Like it's gonna end up being a 2.5 on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
It's just very flatline for me. Borderline 2 out of 5.
It's the Warcraft of this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2.
That's so disappointing.
I gotta go heavy too. It's just so. It's like literally Warcraft. Like it feels like a sequel to movies that don't exist, and then makes sense because it is a sequel to books that have not been made into movies.
Crazy. Well, if you haven't seen The Dark Tower,
Go
so
see it.
all of you,
Yeah.
check it out, or don't if you want to be spoiled, because we will be talking a little spoilers, I guess, here.
little bit.
So
Can't
fair
wait.
warning. Tim,
Yeah.
you had something to mention there.
Yeah, it's just annoying that like they just killed off Matthew McConaughey's character.
I was gonna say,
Or
that
is he
blew
dead?
my mind.
He might be
Shot in the head.
head and heart twice. Yeah.
So come on,
I don't know, guys.
Um,
It's been known to happen.
doesn't
not
matter.
how.
Shot in the face and the heart twice. He could come back.
This does not happen in the books. He does
Yeah.
not get shot in the books.
Okay, you know what? I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Like,
What did happen?
What is his character in the books, please? 'Cause
He
I feel
exists. He exists in several Stephen King books. He goes by different names: Randall Flagg, Walter O'Dim, the Man in Black, and he's like this demon that exists just to kind of cause chaos. He's like an agent of chaos, but he's not like he's a sorcerer. He can change his looks about and stuff. He can bring people back from the dead, but he never really does anything like telepathic or
Like, kill yourself.
yeah.
You never did that.
Not in the Dark Tower. He might do it in some other stories that he's in. That's how I felt when I was watching it.
Yeah, Sony.
Nick Arso.
Yeah, so his character is just like his character is like
Producers.
a thing of being, but he's also working for the Crimson King, who gets alluded to very briefly.
Is he like the Snoke of like the world? Is he like the Emperor character?
He's like the Darth Vader character, and Crimson King's the Emperor.
That's what I mean.
Yes,
That's what I mean.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He's like behind the scenes doing stuff.
Yeah. He's the Thanos. Basically.
Sure, yes,
For the layman's.
yes.
yes,
He's
for
the Crimson
Franks.
King for the layman's.
Say the Emperor's a good.
Did they say Crimson King in the movie?
There's some wall.
There's some, like, graffiti and
that's
stuff.
like "Hail Crimson King" or
I remember
yes,
that. Okay.
It's interesting because
That's
I had to read up on it to understand that reference because I didn't get it when I watched it.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's the Crimson King? I thought it was referencing McConaughey's character. I thought
Me
it was the
too.
Man in Black.
he's not the Crimson King.
But there's no other
There's
reference
no other
to
allusion
it.
to it. No, nothing.
Perfect.
Wait,
Yeah, this movie's made purely to like piss off and satisfy fans of the books at the same time. They're like, here's little things about the book that you liked. Like 19 is a big number in the series,
yeah, like,
and then they're like, oh, it's 1919 or whatever, and then everything else is like, you like those little things, but no, we're going to give you a whole new narrative that is just very light in comparison to.
yeah, it just seems like it's like that light version, and then you get all these Easter eggs. But then,
Can I spoil the first book for you guys?
sure,
Please do, if it helps.
Roland just straight up kills Jake in the first book.
What?
He catches up to the Man in Black. It's pretty much a chase thing. He's like chasing the Man in Black through the desert, and then he runs to Jake because Jake just kind of has appeared in this world, and he goes with him. And once they get past like this mountain tunnel, Jake like slips and falls, and he's like hanging on to the edge of like this bottomless pit, and it's like the Man in Black is like super close by, and he's like talking to Roland. He's like, Roland, you've caught me. I'm gonna go down and wait for you to come talk to me, but if you save the kid, I'm just gonna leave. And Roland's like, fuck it.
Kid's dead.
I'm just gonna leave, and Jake just like falls.
And dies.
He dies, yeah.
And there's like 6 more books. No Jake.
Is there no Jake?
Oh, fuck you. Little...
So I was kind of hoping that like his
They would have the
whole,
balls to do that?
they would have the balls to like.
Yeah.
I wish at the end
murder.
when they're both like quoting
Murder.
the gunslinger stigma or whatever you call Credo, yeah.
Bible.
That like he would like shoot past McConaughey and just like kill Jake, so like he couldn't destroy the Dark Tower. Because Roland is like obsessed with getting to the Dark Tower. That's his whole thing. He like is like intrinsically driven to get there.
Huh?
How would we know that in the
What do
movie?
you know?
That's not his.
No.
That
I
he does
shouldn't-
not care about
No.
that.
Yeah.
He cares about vengeance.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be learning all this for
Yeah.
the first time
Yeah.
after seeing the movie.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to ask you and like learn everything that I'm learning right now.
Yeah.
What you just said about him, his priority being the tower,
Yeah. His goal
That
is to
would be-
get to the Dark Tower.
Not in the
and
movie.
him killing Jake makes sense for if his motivation is to reach the tower is his ultimate goal, not to kill the Man in Black
Yeah.
as sort of a side
It's a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this movie, the priority for him was avenging his father,
Yep.
and the tower was just like, he's like a reluctant hero for saving the tower,
No.
or finding the tower.
He's like, his goal is he reaches the Dark Tower and protect it to make sure.
Which I think is better.
Yeah.
But in the movie, it was the opposite. It was switched.
Yeah.
Like the movie's called The Dark Tower, and there's
It's
no
barely in it.
emphasis on this
No.
tower.
Yeah.
It's all about him trying to find.
I would have liked to see more like happening with the tower too.
You know what's
we barely
interesting?
saw that.
You
Right.
said Jake just sort of pops up,
Yeah.
or you're following Roland and he bumps into Jake.
Yeah.
I would much have preferred that if we followed Roland
Yeah. I wish they
Instead
opened
of
up.
Jake.
Yeah.
Like-
instead of following Jake the whole time and then Roland pops up.
Yeah.
I hate that they flipped it.
Yeah.
It's like every choice they made, like creative choice, is just
Yeah,
like
It was backwards.
worse.
It was
Yeah.
literally the opposite of what they should have done.
And just worse.
No good.
Well, I think that'll do it. I think that just about sums it up
Yeah.
for the Dark Tower.
Underwhelming.
Loved it.
Tim, where can people find us?
People can find us on Twitter at Up Real Lates. You can find all of our old audio episodes on iTunes at Up Real Lates. You can find us on Facebook at Up Real Late as well. And you can find me personally on Letterboxd at Up Real Tim.
Adam.
You can find me on Twitter at Franny25 and Instagram and Letterboxd at UpRealAdam.
You can find myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UpRealScott. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section if you want to join our discussion about the Dark Tower. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy our stuff. And as always, keep it real.